dessa luta, uma luta dura, chama. Como o Ali e o Ankalaev, eles parece que têm 100% de certeza que eles vão ganhar de mim, então acho que eles vão aceitar esse desafio.
Alex Pereira has just challenged Magomed Ankalaev to a $200,000 bet ahead of their UFC 313 title fight. However, Alex Pereira's coach, Plinio Cruz, said that Pereira has been in the UFC for about 3 years, and in that time, he's become a much better fighter and grappler. He's now a seasoned grappler and a true black belt, which Glover gave him.
He's about 3 years in the UFC. If anything, he's a much better fighter, he's a much better grappler, he's a seasoned grappler, he's a real black belt like me and Glover gave to him, but he's a black belt in MMA now. It's not only jiu-jitsu.
He further acknowledged that Pereira's skills have reached a whole new level, and while people will always talk, he just keeps moving forward.
He's up here, his skills up here, and like, people always gonna say, always gonna talk, and we just keep moving, man.
Moreover, Dan Hardy stated that he believed Pereira would get the win in this fight. He felt that this could be a turning point in Ankalaev's game, where he truly starts to round out his skills and utilize all aspects of MMA. However, Hardy pointed out that Ankalaev still has a mindset as a striker with wrestling as a backup, which could be his downfall. Hardy also emphasized that Alex Pereira's takedown defense should not be underestimated, as it could play a significant role in the fight.
No, I think Pereira gets it done. I do. I feel like perhaps this might be the turning point in Ankalaev's game, where he really, starts to round out his game and utilize the rest of his MMA. I feel like he's still very much in his mindset. He's a striker that has wrestling as a backup, and I think that might be the downfall for him. And I also think I can't underestimate Alex Pereira's takedown defense as well.
Javier Mendez stated that Alex Pereira's title defense against Ankalaev is his toughest fight to date, but it could be easier for Pereira if Ankalaev chooses to stand and trade. He referenced Ankalaev's fight with John Blachowicz, where Ankalaev took too much damage before implementing takedowns, making the fight tougher than it needed to be.
So this is a very interesting title defense for Alex. I think this is his toughest fight to date, easily the most toughest fight. But it could be an easy fight if Ankalaev just stands with him. It could be an easier fight for Alex. Like you remember when he fought Jan Blachowicz, the champion, right? When Ankalaev did, and he fought him stand up until Jan destroyed his legs, and then he started taking him down. When the damage was already done, had he done the takedown right from the get-go, it would have been much easier for him. But it was a tough fight because he allowed all the stand-up and the leg kicks to get in on him.
Mendez emphasized that Ankalaev is a well-rounded fighter, and if he executes his plan effectively, it will be an interesting and challenging fight for Pereira.
But Ankalaev is well-rounded, can do it all, and if he implements his plan, it's going to be an interesting fight.
On the other end, Ankalaev looks more than ready. He's training harder than ever and will take on Alex Pereira on the 9th of March. Magomed Ankalaev remarked that whether Alex Pereira takes his tweets to heart or not, it doesn't concern him. He said that after a long wait, he finally earned this title shot and he is determined to make the most of it, ensuring he doesn't let any opportunity slip away.
Ну, я не знаю, как он принимает. Мы принимаем этот бой как последний бой, так как я этого боя заслуживал долго, и мне не давали шанса биться с ним. Но сейчас выпал такой шанс, и я не собираюсь его упускать. Мы сделаем все, что в наших силах. И мне не важно, как он воспринимает это, принимает он близко к сердцу или нет. Но все равно мы говорим, и мы делаем.
I don't care the way this affects him. I don't care if he takes it close to heart or not. What I know is we're looking at this fight as if it's the last fight ever. And we're going to do whatever we can to make sure that we get this opportunity.
Alex Pereira, while expecting a tough and exciting fight, has warned Ankalaev that he plans to take his head off in the octagon.
Dessa luta, uma luta dura, chama.
Moreover, Alex Pereira posed a charitable bet ahead of his UFC 313 showdown with Magomed Ankalaev. On social media, Pereira confidently challenged Ankalaev, saying, "Since you are so confident you will win $200,000 to the winner's charity of choice. Win or lose this will help those in need. It's in your hands. Magomed."
Março, em Las Vegas, a gente está apostando $200 mil para fazer uma doação para crianças carentes ou crianças do câncer. Muitas pessoas estão precisando dessa ajuda. Como o Ali e o Ankalaev, eles parece que têm 100% de certeza que eles vão ganhar de mim, então eu acho que eles vão aceitar esse desafio. Eu sou uma pessoa que sou pé no chão, consciente de tudo que eu falo, e não importa, tem que vir do Ankalaev, né, do empresário dele. Se alguém quiser patrocinar esses $200 mil aí e colocar no nome deles para fazer essa aposta, para mim não tem problema. Os $200 mil é do meu bolso, eu estou ciente. E assim, se eu vou ganhar, não sei, mas eu quero ganhar realmente. Eu posso perder, mas muitas pessoas que estão precisando vão ganhar, né? O pessoal do câncer. Então vem aqui deixar esse desafio pro Ankalaev.
It didn't take long for Ankalaev to respond on his X account. He wrote, "As a Muslim, you know betting is forbidden in Islam. And also as a Muslim, every year, I have to give 2.5% of my wealth to charity. This is one of the 5 pillars of Islam," Ankalaev said. "Many kids around the world are in need, and we can do things after the fight, but we don't have to publicize it. Your manager and my manager have a good relationship, and we can let them handle that. See you soon. Ramadan Mubarak." Moreover, Tim Welch discussed the potential outcome of the fight between Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev, warning that if Ankalaev tries to strike with Pereira, it could be a bad night for him. He suggested Ankalaev should focus on wrestling, making Pereira work by taking him down and using the cage to tire him out. This approach, he believes, could lead to Ankalaev winning.
Oh man, that one's risky. And if Magomed comes out there and he tries to strike with Alex Pereira, which I feel like he might, then it's going to be, I think, a bad night for him. But if he comes out, wrestles him, zaps his arms, forces him, maybe gets takedowns, not to just hold him down and not to just ride him, but take him down, make him work up, take him down, make him work up. Put him against the fence, pin his arms, take a little bit of explosiveness out of his arms.
Despite the strategy, Welch admitted he's rooting for Pereira. He recalled sitting next to him at a previous UFC event, noting Pereira's massive fists and wrists, which contribute to his powerful strikes. Welch concluded that Pereira's power gives him the advantage, making him likely to win.
Could win, but I'm pushing for Alex Pereira to win.
Do you think Pereira wins, though?
I think it depends on Magomed's game plan. And again, we were sitting next to Alex Pereira at UFC, the last UFC, and his fists are as big as my head. His fists are as big as my head. He's got like these big wrists and these big joints. Like, you can see why he thuds so hard. So one shot from Pereira and the whole thing can change. So I think Pereira's going to win.
Eddie Cha stated that he stopped doubting Alex Pereira a long time ago, as he believes Pereira has the ability to beat anyone, regardless of whether they are a wrestler or a striker. While recognizing the challenges of facing Pereira, Eddie would still pick him to win, although he acknowledged that this upcoming fight is likely Pereira's toughest yet.
Oh man, I stopped going against Pereira a long time ago. I think he can beat anybody. Doesn't matter if it's a wrestler or a striker. It's hard to go against Alex, so I would just pick Alex. But it's a tough fight. I think it's his toughest fight up to date.
Mansour Abdul Malik believes Magomed Ankalaev will win, but finds the fight intriguing due to the contrasting skill sets. He noted Ankalaev's striking and grappling abilities, while acknowledging Alex Pereira's own strengths. Malik also emphasized that Ankalaev, being a big fighter for the 205-pound division, adds to the fight's dynamic.
That's a good one. I see Ankalaev being the winner there. But once again, it's an interesting fight, right? Because Ankalaev has a different skill set as well. He can strike, but also he can grapple. Alex Pereira has his skill set, so we'll see. It's an interesting dynamic because Ankalaev is also a big guy. That's not like someone who's small for the weight division. That's a big guy. He fits right into that 205 category. So we'll see.
Grant Dawson expressed that while he believes Magomed Ankalaev could win through wrestling, he's not impressed by his previous performances. He specifically mentioned Ankalaev's fight against Jan Blachowicz, where he felt Jan won and remains unimpressed by Ankalaev's overall skills. Dawson believes that if Ankalaev can take Pereira down and control him for 4 rounds, he might have a chance, but ultimately he's picking Alex Pereira to win.
I'm going Alex, man. I definitely think Magomed could get it done, or whatever his name. I think he could get it done with his wrestling, but what I saw with him against Jan Blachowicz. I'm just not impressed with him, man. I actually thought Jan won the fight. I'm just not impressed with him. I think Alex could get it done. If you tell me that he takes Alex down and rides him out for 4 rounds, I could see it, but I'm picking Alex.
Robert Whitaker stated that he's picking Alex Pereira to win, emphasizing how difficult it is to write him off given his consistent ability to prove himself. He mentioned that if Magomed Ankalaev doesn't make adjustments within the first 3 minutes, he believes Ankalaev won't make it past the first round. Whitaker added that he wouldn't want to be in a striking battle with Pereira, acknowledging his power and comfort standing in the octagon.
I'm going to go Pereira.
It's hard to write him off, right? Like he keeps proving himself.
I just don't. Like I said, if Ankalaev doesn't drop level within in the first 3 minutes, I don't think he makes it out of the first round. I don't want to be in that. I don't want to be striking with that guy.
Yeah.
Period. He hits like a truck. He's very comfortable and confident at standing. So. Yeah, you have to get him on his back in that first round.
Andre Petrosky mentioned that Magomed Ankalaev has the potential to win the fight easily, but he was concerned after hearing Ankalaev's interview where he claimed he would knock out Alex Pereira. This statement made Petrosky less hopeful about Ankalaev's chances. However, he emphasized that if Ankalaev focuses on his wrestling game, he believes Ankalaev could beat Pereira fairly easily.
I mean, Ankalaev can win this fight so easily. But I'm sure everyone's seen the interview where he talks about how he's going to knock him out. So that doesn't give me much hope. But if he just goes out and wrestles, I think he can beat Pereira relatively easily.
Petrosky further said that if Ankalaev tries to strike with Pereira, he believes Pereira will most likely win, possibly knocking Ankalaev out. However, if Ankalaev decides to use his grappling, he thinks he could easily defeat Pereira. Based on Ankalaev's interview, Petrosky speculated that Ankalaev would likely stand and trade with Pereira, though he acknowledged it could be a strategy to hype the fight.
I think if Ankalaev tries to strike with him, I think Pereira will beat him. Will probably knock him out. But if he grapples him, I think he can easily beat Pereira.
What do you think's more likely to happen?
I mean, based on his interview, I'd say he's going to stand and trade with him. Unless he's just saying that, which I would give him kudos for that. Just to sell the fight and go out and make everyone pissed.
Nazim Sadikov said that the outcome of the fight largely depends on Ankalaev's strategy. If Ankalaev chooses to stand and trade with Pereira, he believes it's a 50-50 fight, but would lean toward Pereira due to his world-class kickboxing skills. While Ankalaev is a skilled striker, Sadikov doesn't think it's the most efficient route to victory. However, if Ankalaev diversifies his game and mixes in his wrestling and grappling, Sadikov thinks he can win. His final prediction is for Ankalaev to win by decision.
It kind of depends on Magomed, to be honest, because if he's been saying he wants to stand up with Pereira, I mean, you're standing up with a world champion kickboxer. I still think even in that department, he is a great threat, but I just don't think that's his most efficient path to victory. So if he decides to stand, it's 50-50. Or I would lean to, or not even that, I would lean towards Pereira. If he mixes it up and it's the fight it's supposed to be for Ankalaev, I think he wins. Final pick, Ankalaev by decision.
Nick Klein stated that he finds it difficult to pick a winner between Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. He mentioned that while he's a fan of both fighters, he sees Ankalaev as a very dangerous opponent, especially with his well-rounded skills. Klein acknowledged the significant challenge Pereira brings to the table, particularly with his striking power, but ultimately, he felt that Ankalaev's versatility could give him the edge if he plays to his strengths. It's a hard call, but Klein seemed to respect both fighters' abilities and recognize that it's going to be a thrilling thrilling matchup.
Man, I don't know. I've seen so I've actually done some cross training at Extreme Couture, and this was like a year and a half ago or so. It was a while ago, but I saw Ankalaev, you know, kind of spar in person, and he's a scary dude, man. That's such a toss up. I mean, prior fights want to tell me Pereira, but I don't know, man. That's a tough one to call. I'm a big fan of both of those guys.
Michael Bisping expressed his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira, stating that he believes Ankalaev would be foolish not to incorporate wrestling into his strategy. Despite Ankalaev's claim that he won't wrestle, Bisping emphasized that Ankalaev's wrestling could be a crucial element for success in this fight. On the other hand, Bisping pointed out that Pereira is training with his coach, Glover Teixeira, but he noted that Pereira may not be fully aware of the threat Ankalaev poses, suggesting that Pereira might be taking the fight a bit too lightly.
We know Magomed Ankalaev says that he's not going to wrestle. I think he will. I think he would be foolish not to wrestle. And then on the flip side, who is Alex Pereira training with? His coach, Glover Teixeira, wasn't out in Australia. So Magomed Ankalaev, he's taking this one really seriously. And you might argue that Pereira is taking it a little bit light.
Jamahal Hill shared his thoughts on the matchup between Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira, describing Ankalaev as game, but noting that he doesn't take many risks with his striking. Hill mentioned that if Pereira attempts to press Ankalaev, the Russian fighter can still rely on his wrestling. Hill believes it's a very evenly matched fight, to the point where he would hesitate to place a bet, as it's truly a toss-up in his eyes.
Ankalaev is game. I don't like the most. He's game. With the way that he strikes, you know, he don't really take a lot of chances. If Alex does try to press him, he can still wrestle him. So I believe it's a really, really good matchup. But if I had to put my money, I'd probably keep it in my pocket, to be honest with you, because it's that much of a toss-up.
So what are your thoughts on this? Who do you think will come out on top? Alex Pereira or Magomed Ankalaev? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and also make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also check the other videos too.